Okay, so Ned and I were just married, and we were driving to New Hampshire to visit family friends, the Petersons. And it was Chris and Ed and Jim and Ned and me. Get out of that. I hyperventilation. The background to this is that Ed hated to be sticky. So if he was eating anything and his hands got sticky, he ran to the bathroom, had to wash them. If he was eating ice cream, hands got sticky, off to the bathroom, couldn't stand it. So anyway, we're driving to New Hampshire, and it was Ned and Jim and Chris sitting in the back seat. I don't know why I was in the front seat, but I was in the front seat. And at some point, gum was thrown out the window. And
Mom.
I don't know who it was. And so we're driving along, and Ed's starting to squirm and just kind of, uncomfortable. And he was fussing with the accelerator, and he's taking his foot on and off, of this, which he had a tendency to do anyway. The Pelger men drive in rhythm. And so anyhow, so he's lifting his foot up and down. And I saw this and I wondered, what was he doing? And then he's saying, what in the world? What in the world? What's going on? What the hell? This is what he would say, what the hell? And so the other thing is, he is in his stocking feet. So this goes on, and so he's kind of getting mad, and he stops the car. And that's when we discovered the gum went out one window and came in another. And he pulls up his foot, and there's gum on his sock. Now, I was in the front seat, and another known fact about Ed was when he got mad, his tongue would come out the side of his mouth. And so I looked over and I saw that, and I knew what that meant. And in the back seat, they're just starting to giggle. I mean, they just thought this was really funny, and I'm seeing him get mad, so I'm trying to shush them. And now, I've been in the family at this point 4 years. We were probably newly married, and I knew this wasn't a good sign. But they. I know. But anyhow, it didn't occur to me. But he was really upset, and I'm trying to shush them. It just didn't happen. He did not like the sticky gum on his socks. So anyhow, he's trying to get this gum off his socks. He stopped the car, and I'm trying to control the back seat. And that's when the police car pulls up behind us. And the cop comes up to the window, and he says, "Is there some trouble here?" And Ed says, "No, officer, I just have some gum on my sock." So the back seat started laughing hysterically, and I lost the war. But I knew at that exact moment, and I also know the exact moment when Ed and I really bonded. That was an Easter morning. Where is she? I know, I'm sorry. It was an Easter morning, and a teenager in our house didn't come home. And I was really, really mad, and I was just a wild woman. And the culprit made the mistake of calling our house, and if you know me, well, I didn't want him to be a boyfriend. Yeah. Anyhow, if you know me, you know I'm not a yeller. But in fact, Ned likes to tell the story that one time we had a grass fire here, and I said, "He claims." I said, Ned, fire." That wasn't how it was. I mean, I think I yelled a little louder than that, but he claims I didn't. And so, but it was a good reason for that, because our neighbors it's now the office, they were elderly, and if I would have screamed and yelled, they might have had a heart attack. And so I didn't want to scare them. So that's why I was being kind, and I didn't yell really loud. But anyway, this fool calls the house on Easter morning. And now I never knew how much fun it was to scream and yell at anybody, because I'd never done it. But it was great. This guy called, and I'm screaming and I'm yelling, and I mean, you can really vent, when you're yelling. And I never knew it. It was kind of invigorating. So I'm screaming at this guy, and he didn't hang up on me, which I would have hung up on me. And I yelled for about a half hour straight. Ned had me go to the basement because I think he thought I was insane. So I'm still fired up the next day. And I'm in Lidditz, and I see Ed's truck at Herb's at lunchtime, which it normally was. And so on impulse, I stopped. I went marching in, and I sit down at the counter, which I'm sure I surprised him because I'd never done that before ever. And I proceed to recount this story in very colorful language. And I was throwing around the F-bomb, and I was ranting and raving and telling him all the vile things I would do to this guy if I ever saw him again. And I went on, and I'm sure he was looking at me like I had 3 heads, because he and I had never seen me act like this before. And Ed was great. I mean, he sat there and he commiserated with me. I think he was amused by this because, like I said, I never acted like this. But I think through all that, I gained a lot of respect from him. And it just started a new relationship in a way. I mean, we kind of understood each other a little better. But Ed was he was there for a lot of people. You know, I think he could listen to people who sometimes other people ignored. He was very trusted, and I think people often told him their secrets. And we just got a card telling us when Ed went to their house to work that he always showed great dignity to their special needs child. And that's really who Ned was. And he just treated the less fortunate with great respect, and he had fun poking at the higher-ups, as he would say. And yes, there was a time when he made me wear Mickey Mouse ears into their house after a Florida vacation, and that was on like our first 2 months of dating, and I should have had a clue then, but I didn't. But everyone knew Ed was a great storyteller, and he liked playing jokes, but he was so much more. You know, he was the best pap and dad anybody could ever have. And when we were first started dating, and it was really early on, and Ed and I were there, and I remember Debbie came home from somewhere, and you know, she was still living home and probably a senior in school, I don't know. But anyhow, she came home and she was upset about some bozo boy, I don't know. And I remember her, she went into Ed, you know, and she started telling him all about it. You know, and I thought, that's the greatest thing, that you can go in, you know, and talk to your dad about something like that. It just didn't occur to me, you know, that you could do that. And it just left such an impression on me. And that was just the beginning. There were so many times when Ed was always there for us. Especially times Ned ran out of gas, you know, we'd always come. And he was a yes person. If you needed help, he was there. He always gave help. And I never felt disapproval or judged by him. And as a parent, you know, that's a really hard thing to do, but I never felt that from him. And I think that's just such a gift. Ned and I always joke that I married somebody like dear old mom, and that he married somebody like dear old dad. And if even a little of that is true, and I would be like Ed in some way, I would feel very honored. And we're gonna miss him, and we love him lots.